Hey guys, how's it going? We're back at it again, tying up a little pregnant scud. Scuds are awesome, little flies. Great for tailwaters. Anytime there's like a bump up in flows or a noticeable change in the water flow. A lot of times it'll kick a bunch of scuds loose, and I've had some great days of fishing when that situation happens. Also great for still water, so I've been doing a lot of still water fishing lately, and yeah, they're great for that too. So we'll go ahead and get started. This is on a TMC size 14 TMC 2488 nymph hook. It's kind of a caddis hook. Tying this one in olive. Scuds are they're great in olive, gray, tan, even orange. Apparently when they die, they turn orange, but the fish will still eat them, from what I hear. So I got a bunch in orange as well, and this one will be we'll do a little pregnant one, so it's got kind of an orange belly on it. Okay, so let's tie our tail in. So for the tail of this one, we're going to use just a few strands of mallard flank. Grab a little bunch there. Start to work our thread back. And I'm not going to go all the way back to where the tail is going to end. There we go. A couple loose wraps on top, and then just want to make sure that stays on top of the hook as we bring it down. Perfect. All right, now we'll tie in our rib, which for this one is going to be a piece of extra fine silver wire. Don't need to worry too much about how we tie that in. And again, get that all the way back to the tail. And then we are going to tie in what's going to be the back of this scud, which is this is actually scud back. I would probably recommend that if you're just getting started, rather than experimenting with lots of different materials, just buy this stuff. It's not that expensive, but then after you kind of get the hang of it, then you start playing around with materials. You can use Ziploc baggies for this. A lot of cheaper materials you can use to tie these guys. So just want to make sure when you tie that down that it's laying down evenly over the top of the hook. I don't know if I can spin that so you can see it. Just want to make sure that's nice and flat. And then we're ready to start dubbing this fly. And I'm going to use it's actually a scud dubbing, and it's got a little flash to it. I'll tie up a bunch in this color, and then a bunch in kind of a natural olive color. But you don't need to be too particular about getting the dubbing to wrap overly tight around the thread, because we're going to end up picking it out anyways, and the looser it is, usually the easier it is to pluck it out. So you can go up to about where the stomach is going to be, or where we're going to put in the pregnant little belly, about there. Grab some. I just got some fluorescent orange. I'm just going to pull a tiny clump of this. You don't need very much. Don't need very much of this stuff for it to show up. And we'll make a few wraps right around the center. And then we'll grab a little bit more of our olive. And spin that. Just needs to be tight enough to go around get around the thread. And then we're gonna make a handful of wraps. Try to leave some space just behind the eye to finish the fly. So now we can pull our scud back over. And here, to try to keep the eye as clean as possible, I'm gonna do one relatively light wrap and cinch that down, and then pull the scud back over, make a couple wraps. There we go. And now we can wrap our wire. And again, this is just to give it a segmented body. You should get about 4 or 5 wraps in. A couple wraps over. There we go. You should be able to helicopter that off, and then we'll flip in a whip finish. There we go. And clean up the eye. Anything else that's over the top of the fly. Kind of see the top there. And then the last thing is to just pick out the dubbing as best we can. And just use a pencil that I've tied a little Velcro onto. And this just gives it some nice looking legs. Go. Probably pick a little bit more out of there, but that's pretty darn good. All right, there it is. That's a simple little pregnant scud pattern. Like I said, you can tie that in a lot of different colors: tan, olive, orange. Yeah, lots of different colors. Gray is a great color, and yeah. Tie up a bunch and get out there and see what happens. Thanks for watching, and good luck.